in Secret City, yeah, that boy got the gleam. You better hit the phone and brick selling like ringtones. Stepping out fresh, stepping out clean. My nigga Young Mob, dope boy in DPC. When I'm up in the D, we gon' stop like a dog. My niggas drop out of school, but we shut the ball. Don't worry about the crackers, cause the crackers ain't sharp. I'm looking in the phantom, bitch, you know that I'm the mob. See the grill in the front, I get the feel in the front. Fuck how you feeling, Ricky Ross, I get $1 million a month. So
Thank you so much. Guys, welcome back to Jacob V Weekly. I am here. My guest today is Sam Dope, a childhood friend of mine and a rather accomplished independent rapper. Can I say rapper?
You say rapper, artist,
and
whatever.
Producer, engineer. And what you just heard for maybe the very first time, we opened the show with a song that's not our opening jingle, because I had heard that specific song ahead of time and I wanted to start by talking about that. You just heard On Sight by Sam Dope featuring Rick Ross. Now, the first question my friends are going to say is, how come you are next to a guy who has a song featuring Rick Ross? Right? You get that question a lot, right?
Everybody's just, whoa, Rick Ross. Really?
Rick Ross. And I'm sure that that's got to be a part of the motivation in pursuing that. But there's also, that doesn't really, for me, artistically, knowing how hard these things are, we're working on something with a friend of mine named Caroline, who released a song and had a famous guy, whose name I forget, sing a verse on it. And she never met him in person. You know, they sent it to him and he sent his vocals back in, but it ended up, and he was really nice about it and whatnot. But it wasn't, you know, you hear about this sometimes, you don't necessarily meet that person. You didn't meet Rick Ross.
I did not get the pleasure of meeting her.
But I felt like the part that matters is the evidence, which is the verse on the track, which I love. And so we don't necessarily need to get into the nitty gritty of how you link that stuff up back channel, but I'm more interested in talking about what does that feel like to get to a point where even in that professional way where people are working remotely and contributing something to an end product, like that's got to feel really good.
Absolutely.
Very exciting.
It's cool, man.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
And just to sync up for them to come forth and contribute something that has like energy like that and isn't just somebody doing something because you asked them to or because you're paying a fee or something. It's like actually to have energy and performance like that was really exciting to me. What year was that?
This was 2022. Damn, time's flying.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago. Though 2 years, I guess.
23, 22.
And so that's kind of the I'm learning that we're in a sequence of releases. You release most of this stuff independently.
I do.
Which I totally support. I've done most of all my stuff that exact way. And the stuff that I didn't produce independently, somebody else was producing independently and I helped. You know what I mean? Right. So that was part of my attraction to this conversation. Also, when did you start releasing your own stuff for real?
Let's see. I want to say back in 2014 is when I really dropped my first, I did all the steps the right way. I wasn't just uploading songs to YouTube or something like that.
Yeah. You were really crafting.
Trying to, man.
Yeah, trying to learn how you wanted to do it. And that's what I love too, is I knew you to be a rapper much longer before 2014.
Oh yeah.
But you weren't just putting anything out, and you obviously took your time to figure out exactly what you wanted to do. So what was that initial stuff like in 2014?
Just rapping about my life, rapping about things I like to do, rapping about all the girls that I like to,
you know Johnny Wayne?
Oh, Johnny Wayne, that's my boy.
That's part of this too. I forgot.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot
Shout
that
out Johnny Wayne.
Johnny Wayne is he's in Florida now?
No, he's back.
He's back. Okay. He was in Florida for a bit. He's like the ultimate like feel good vibe track guy.
Yeah.
If you need pure joy in about 3 minutes, Johnny Wayne is your dude.
Get the party started. Don't stop until he says so.
Yeah, Mr. Get the Party Started. Did they just have a baby?
They did.
They did just have a baby.
Baby Remy.
Oh, shout out to Johnny Wayne. Me and Tony go way back. The life, just out here, hard streets of Bridgeton, he and I, in line at that Wendy's. Oh, you know Tony Larson.
Yeah, of course.
That's his name, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'll bleep that.
You go.
We go way back, and then I was like, wait a minute. Yeah, Luce just worked with us at the. at the Wendy's there in Bridgeton. We all worked at Wendy's when the spicy nugs first
Oh,
dropped.
shit.
And I would get bummed out. I'd be like, Tony, I can't handle it. These people want these spicy nugs so bad. He'd be like, listen, baby, it's all good. Listen, baby, it's
I
all
got first
good.
batch coming.
Don't you worry about it. It's Free Track Friday, brother.
I think Johnny and I had a Free Track Friday. One
Yeah,
of his,
I bet that's on my
I forget which
laptop
one
still.
it was, Johnny. Which one was it, bud?
My downloads folder on that laptop from that era was crazy, so I'm sure it's in there. Because I was one of the people saying, please don't quit doing that. Because he's like, do you guys even listen to these? And I'm like, I always am good for a free track.
Every Friday.
Always good for a free track. I still interact with files, though. A lot of people don't interact with files. You and me are of the age
Yeah.
that we had that window of time where developmentally we were getting into music, and the idea that we could download stuff onto our computer and then put it on a CD or on our phone or something. We were all about that shit.
All about it.
All about it. Ripping and burning, daddy. And then, but the market didn't stay there very long. People decided very soon that as soon as internet got faster, they're like, I do not want to interact with files all the time. I still have my iPod Classic.
So I got the little
Like a
shuffle
quarter
song.
of a terabyte on that Mammer Jammer. And so I just think that's such an interesting part of the development there. Now, that's something I did want to ask you about. So we have here, I'm going to hold up some of this. We have Sam Dope, Long Way to Go.
So I would say this would be my debut album.
I love that.
Maybe about 8 years after the 2014 stuff. This album's just all about where I'm at in my life and where I'm trying to be and what I need to do to get there. And it's the title of the album.
And so
Long Way to
not
Go.
tons of features, but definitely some features.
Yeah, I think what I have.
There's 3 features on
Yeah,
there.
okay, 2 or 3 features. Yeah, shout out to my boy C-Buck, Be Immersed, and T.O. What's up, man?
And those are mostly other rappers featuring.
So C-Buck, he's an excellent singer. He's
Yeah.
a rapper. Be Immersed, yeah, he's underground hip hop
Yeah.
all day. And then T.O. is a good friend of mine. He's a producer, singer.
Follow up to Long Way to Go. I love that title. I love the artwork. Because if you just glance by that, it could almost seem like it's leaning towards but it's not called A Long Lonesome Road. You know what I mean? And that's what some people would have done with that artwork. And it seems totally approachable. It's 10 songs. I think 10 is the perfect number. Unless you're going to really give them some love and give them 15 or 16, like 10 is good. 9 bums me out.
Yeah, well, you might be bummed out. I think I went with
The
8 on
follow-up,
this one.
Growth, has 8.
Yeah.
But they're so good that you don't need those last 2.
Exactly.
And features on this one?
Here, go ahead and open it. That's for you.
Oh, I so appreciate that. I actually use these. And so I would love to. So there is an inside cover here.
There's an inside cover.
Because what we're talking about here is there's a chronology to some of these releases and sort of an arc, maybe even a redemption tale.
Yeah,
You'll have to read to the end. I don't want to give it away. Oh, yeah. Oh, a fresh one. Okay, here we go. We got Dizzy Wright. That sounds so familiar.
Dizzy Wright, yeah.
And what is that next one? 2-6?
2-6, Pierre Mosby.
Oh, really? Okay, I'm about to say, I know that name.
Oh, yeah.
And how far apart were these?
A year and a half.
Okay, so that's what I thought. So not too crazy.
Too crazy. Not too, I tried to have a little growth in between. And,
Absolutely.
Continue the story.
And that's kind of a theme there. And so I think some aspects of hip hop really amplify being self-aggrandizing and being like. So what part of like revealing growth and vulnerability is essential to you? Because it seems like that's part of the theme you're alluding to across the release.
They're both very personal albums. It's a lot about what's my day-to-day struggles with just pretty much anything. Listen to it and you'll get more of a feel for it. But yeah, man, it's really just how I can be better and what's so. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm not trying to play gotcha. I totally agree. I do think it's a good idea because I think being like an independent rapper in the 21st century, especially in the Midwest, you're not necessarily going to buy tons of favor like just trying to wake up one day and just be Pitbull all of a sudden.
All of a
Were
sudden,
you
right.
at Pitbull and T-Pain?
I missed out, man.
Oh my God, we
missed
were
out.
there. It was sold out. It was crazy. But like, if you just showed up one day with a fake Cuban accent and like chains and shit, like that's whack, right?
Yeah, it doesn't work
So,
like
and there's a lot of people still do that. I interviewed a guy, and a precursor to this show was a radio show I did when I was in college, and I interviewed a guy who was like 42 at the time and like fake tan, but he was like an auto-tune singer guy, and he had like sexy songs about like being a vampire, and I was like, I don't know where this is going, but I'm excited for you. And whereas like this is different. You're not like necessarily playing a character or building like an elaborate lore. It's very personal
No,
and autobiographical.
Correct.
Because I think it's easier for you to convey to people that it's authentic that way, because you're not like trying to, be like a different thing.
No, this is me. This is my life. This is my music. This is, if you want to get to know me, listen to my songs.
And there's a follow-up to these coming soon?
There is a follow-up coming soon. Hopefully November-ish.
That's so soon.
I
That's
know.
so soon.
It's
That's
coming
gonna
up. It's coming up.
Stocking stuffers. Collect the whole set.
Stocking stuff. If not
Can
by
people
November,
order
by
the
Christmas.
physical copies of these from you somewhere?
Absolutely. Just shoot me a message on Facebook, Instagram at The Real Sam Dope. And
Sam Dope.
Yeah.
And the next one's called
Sam Sara, which is kind of, my name's Sam. And also,
You're Sam.
I am Sam Dope.
I'm just reminding them.
Oh, yeah. But it's kind of just, again, growth is kind of, there's that karmic loop that they, the Hindus say we're all trying to
Correct.
find our way out of.
Is that the snake eating its own tail?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
See? We're just synced up today. So musically, we heard just the beginning of one track so far, and we'll end with a different one later at the end of the episode, because if I fill it with music in the middle, I know that's such an easier way to do it for the sake of reflecting what you do for the audience. However, that messes up the algorithm. So, if you could humor me just a little bit with stylistically, there's certainly some elements of hip hop that are historical in St. Louis in the last 30 years or what have you. However, there's not really like a St. Louis sound in the way that like, Southern hip hop had kind of a sound, or like West Coast or whatever you want to talk about. So how do you choose how to make it all sound when you have to produce it yourself? You don't have somebody telling you exactly what to do, and you're trying to be autobiographical. How do you find what you want the tracks to? You make most of the beats yourself?
No, shout out to Almari. He's been my producer for the last couple years.
Oh,
Pretty
perfect.
much all these albums have been
Good. Okay. I didn't
almost
know.
solely produced by him.
And so that is even probably better, because you have to talk to him about exactly what you're going for sonically.
Oh yeah.
And so what are those conversations like?
Well, he's just, hey man, what kind of beat you want? What are we thinking? It's like, I'm going through this. I need this done. I really want to convey, a story, and he can just have the perfect thing back to you within hours.
So that's the value of that relationship.
Oh
then,
yeah,
is he
good
can,
to have people like that on your side that believe in your music, that can willing to work with you, won't stop until they're as happy with the final product as
and
you
to
are.
care enough to try to plug into it emotionally, to try to reflect musically what you're feeling creatively is really hard to do with somebody. So I'm glad that you can keep that going with that person. Now, how much of the beat is done when you go in to do vocals the first time?
100% most of the time. Yeah, it's usually a finished beat. We can go back and forth until it's
Yeah, and you
the way I
can move
want
some
it,
stuff
but
around
yeah,
and whatnot.
yeah, we can definitely, yeah.
Because I didn't know the hard part for me when I was just a vocalist. I started off as a singer, and it was like, well, I can't do anything by myself. You know what I mean? Like,
band,
unless you
yeah.
want to be like Bobby McFerrin, who was like the "Don't Worry, Be Happy" guy, which is good, but I wasn't necessarily that good of a singer, and so. I started piecing together the sounds and stuff. But when you're writing something, how much music do you need to write the part you're writing before you have a finished beat?
I just need to feel it, you know. I just got a cool melody that I can start humming along to, start coming up with ideas, and next thing I know, I got a idea for a hook that's just snowballs from there.
Okay, good. Because some people really struggle with like the process of like I've met so many like younger aspiring artists who like just have voice memos and they don't really know anything about like tempo or like key signatures to like really start the ball rolling. So they get kind of stuck there. Is a lot of your stuff something, and I'm not going to make you do this, so you can answer honestly, but so a lot of the stuff is stuff you could do a cappella in an early stage, like when you're trying to prepare it and trying to figure out how you want it to flow.
Like, are you talking about the beats or like
no, the vocal parts?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because some people write songs like Michael Jackson would sing it exactly the way he wanted to sing it, and then they would build stuff around it. And some people change what they're going to sing based off something they like that sounds a certain.
So if I start typically I have the beat first. The beat usually inspires me to write the song based on how I feel, what the beat's saying. You know what I mean? But if that's not the case, and we do the Michael Jackson way, and, I imagine I hear it how I want it in my head. I tried my best to lay it down. I tried my best to convey what I want done with it, and we make it happen.
Do you play any instruments?
I played the drums for a little bit.
That's probably good though. That's probably still in you somewhere.
It's I didn't get very far, but it's cool. Yeah. I know a little bit of music theory. I know enough to make a cool beat. You know, but I can't. I'm no.
So this is
instrumentalist
something that I love. That I don't know if I want to say his name. There is a rapper who sometimes will perform on stage under a spotlight with just him and his MPC, right? And in a way that when I saw him start doing that, we were young people at the time, I remember thinking, oh, that's really cool because that's like his version of like if you see like Taylor Swift with just a guitar, right? Or if you see Adele with just a piano or whatever, that's sort of his version of that. It's the rapper who's, I'm not going to mention because it's not, his identity is complicated and not relevant, but just him and his MPC is sort of like a version of that. So that's what I'm trying to visualize is like if you're just alone in your creative bubble and the song is in its infancy, just trying to imagine what that process looks like. Because like I can play some chords on the piano and I can try to get the piano to tell me what I'm supposed to sing next if I'm struggling in that way.
Yeah.
But I almost kind of, some of the better songs I've written, I think were more like how you're saying is that like you're so into where the vocal is going that you could do it with or without music.
Oh, absolutely. With or without, and then makes it easier to.
Can you grab Joe? My Padawan is here with the cannabis.
Sweet.
Because I had to set up these cameras. I didn't want to be late. We're packing them in tonight, sister. So what made you originally younger times, many years ago? What kind of groups or acts made you want to pursue hip hop specifically as opposed to other styles of music? Because we were not, I don't know how long you were where I was, but when we met, but like not necessarily a cultural epicenter in its own right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Daddy. Thank you so much. Are you going to class?
Yeah.
Okay, I appreciate you. You be safe out there. I like your hat. Are you cold?
No.
Oh, okay, good.
Fucking freezing at my house today, dude.
It was when I woke up this morning, I was like, baby, the house is cold. And so let's take that again. I was saying influences that made you want to pursue hip-hop specifically over other kinds of music.
I first heard Rage Against the Machine when I was probably too young to be listening to Rage Against the Machine.
I think that's how everyone heard Rage Against the Machine. They were just playing that stuff. I'm like, this is some politically charged music for the babies.
Yeah, man, it was coming out of big rock rap era. Eminem obviously was a big influence.
I mean, I don't think people can understand really how the age we were and just how
huge
rapid
he was
and big and also kind of sudden. Like I remember walking into the Crestwood Mall and there was somebody's baby driving a pickup truck listening to the real Slim Shady. And we were like, that baby should not be driving that pickup truck.
Right.
That album was a masterpiece. I don't care who knows it.
Slim Shady LP was one of my first rap albums. After Country Grammar, of course.
After Country Grammar, of course.
Yeah.
Which they just gave you around here. They just it was in the box with the RFT. You get Country Grammar with your RFT
on cassette, baby.
On cassette?
Oh yeah.
You had Country Grammar on cassette?
Country Grammar on cassette.
I'm gonna go on eBay tonight and buy that. I'm gonna find one because that is
I
good.
need to look that up right now.
That is such a is like
I don't know whatever happened to it. I'm ashamed to say that, but
you don't know what happened to your copy of Country Grammar on cassette?
On my cassette copy.
I bet you I can find ways for you to listen to to Country Grammar without a cassette.
Oh,
but
wow.
that is so cool to what did I have on cassette? Now that's what I call Music Volume 1 I had on cassette.
I think I started at 3, and that's funny because some coworkers now were just talking about the
Those
now
CDs
songs
were the
and
shit.
looking up the track list. And
Like
all
the
that
first
shit.
20 of them were great. Now 4, 5, and 6 changed my life.
What the fuck are they up to now? Like 100.
I think they are all themed now, or they may just have the year or something because it got crazy. Because they have like 78 versions of now. That's what I call Christmas. So, because it wasn't like every year, like it was like quarterly. They were putting them out at first, and then, but you'd buy them because it'd be like I can get a whole CD, and I don't have to listen to the 9 Aerosmith songs I don't know.
Right.
You know what I
Give me
mean?
the
I
one.
could just
Yeah,
listen
crowd
to
favorite.
the one from Armageddon, and then we get some Macy Gray, and we get some. I remember Mark Anthony had one that was on a Now something. That was a jam. I wonder if that was good for them financially, or if they're just splitting it too many different ways.
Yeah, I'd say it's probably closer to the latter.
Yeah,
You
'cause it
know, I'm
wasn't-
not sure what those contracts
I don't know
were like,
how
but-
anyone was making money on that. They're just like, how can we make the smallest profit margins on a CD possible? And that seems like a great way to do it. Can I ask you about that? In what ways have you had to be creative with releasing music or promoting music in a way that you wouldn't have had to do in a different time or with different kinds of support?
Well, now everything's just social media, you know. So it's timing, it's getting a following, it's more than just it's word of mouth. It's a lot. It's actually probably my biggest downfall is the promotion and
Well, it's so hard
it's impossible
because
man, without
you
a
didn't
team behind
you didn't necessarily know I had a podcast. So when you came up here, you don't know. For example, I've been on a journey that I've been telling my friends about. I make clips of this show. Usually, the show is at
I've
least
seen the clip.
okay. So you have seen the clips.
Yeah.
So those, I take a 60 or 90-minute episode of the show, and I have a program that'll clip it out and add those captions and make it vertical and whatnot. Cool. But that's the thing. Like most of those clips, I get like stalled at like 200 or 300 followers, or not followers, but views.
Yeah.
Because it's just like the followers for that channel or whatever. But they go to all over the place. But it's like if I didn't have that, it would be you wouldn't see any of it at all because the only reason I can stay competitive is because I have a machine working faster than me.
Exactly.
Because if I had to make all those clips myself, it just wouldn't happen. It just
and
wouldn't
just
be
being
possible.
able to share it with large groups of people.
Well, that's the thing. It'll post it
and-
everywhere for me. So, and then I'm struggling with this because I'm in bands that are, DIY based here and whatnot. And so we're working all the time with like, how do we get people to give a shit?
Right.
Because like, you find some kind of a publication, and if it's really got people that check into it, they might just be your competition. They might not be new fans. You know what I mean? Have you ever heard someone say, "Oh, I was reading an independent Midwestern hip hop magazine and I fell in love with my new favorite rapper"? You know what I mean? Those people that are subscribed to that magazine are already so set in their ways. You're not really converting them to anything.
Right. We need new people subscribing to that magazine.
Yeah, too many bitches. Did I tell you she showed up on a field trip I was on?
Who's that?
Sexy Red.
Sexy Red. No shit.
Oh yeah,
Where at?
I was on a field trip. I was on a school bus in front of Chaffetz Stadium, and they were getting all these different schools full
Did
of
she
kids
get out
on
and twerk on the bus?
and she pulled up in a Yukon Denali, hanging out the moonroof, waving at everybody, and literal children were running out of the bus line and into the street to try to go say hi to her. And I said, Janelle, get out of here.
Keep it moving.
That's my girl, though.
Sexy Red. Get him sexy.
And because that's hard too, because stylistically, genre wise, right? If I say St. Louis hip hop, there's a lot of different flavors.
Exactly. And I don't think I necessarily have this a St. Louis or Midwestern hip hop sound.
You just happen to be there
at all.
geographically.
I'm just here, man. I've been
Yeah.
in St. Louis, so
And so,
It is what it is.
Does that make it harder at all? Do you ever feel like people hit you up and they're looking to build out more of a?
no, not really. It's kind of makes it more interesting. Cause
I think so.
It's
I definitely think it's more
its own
interesting
lane.
that
You
way.
know,
Yeah, that it's because again, you're not like co-opting like a familiar style from people that are nearby.
absolutely not. I'm trying to have a sound of my own. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like when someone hears a song, like, oh, that's Sam Dope.
Yeah.
there couldn't be anybody else.
So do you do the mixing and mastering?
I do so I record in my own studio at my house, and then I send it off to my boy Dragon down in Texas, and he takes it and makes it $1 million sounded record every time.
Okay, so that's so interesting to me too, because to know where to stop with the stuff you do yourself.
Oh, I've learned not to try to do too much, man, because I know it's in good hands.
Yeah,
it's gonna be.
So you have a nice little assembly line kind of dialed in. You
I got a nice little team going.
Guy, you got a mastering guy, and
I got me in my studio.
Yeah,
you know,
I see. That's what I really love about this is that I was like, there's just like some real stuff going on here with being able to crank this stuff out like that, and to really kind of have that. Like momentum creatively is really hard because you don't.
It is, man.
When you don't have tens of millions of people telling you that one specific thing was great, you know what I mean? It's like, how do you know what to pursue?
You gotta love it, man. Like, you know, I do it because it's what I do. It's what I love to do. And, you know,
you feel like you have to.
I feel like I have to. Yeah. What the hell else am I gonna do?
Yeah, you don't have a choice. Correct.
Exactly.
And that's kind of like it's like I don't even necessarily enjoy all of it all the time. It's like it's not about like I think people think we're just having fun and that we're just addicted to having fun. And that's not really what it feels like.
No. Sometimes it's not that fun.
Sometimes it's not fun at all. Yeah. Sometimes it's not, especially when in the case where, you know, like gigging and stuff, that gets really not fun really quick.
Oh, yeah.
And especially like when you got to wait. I mean, I'm sure your experience is a lot of waiting.
A lot of waiting, a lot of just, oh, man, I just want to get these out. I got to go through all these, you know, all the legal things and all the hoops and get everybody on the same page, everybody split up, you know, however it's supposed to be. And it's just it's a process.
It's a process. And it's, I've also discovered, and I'm sure you probably get as much of this as I do, that there's also like an industry built around people trying to sell us things as creatives. Like they're not even trying to make money on music anymore. They just want to sell the stuff you need.
Oh yeah,
to make it. Or they just
instantly mixed and mastered with a press of a button.
I mean, my Instagram feed is all ads for. I buy one plugin, and now my Instagram feed is all ads for plugins. At least it used to be physical things that would have to get mailed to me. Now they want me to give them $100 for codes.
Yeah, well, I will say, man, I'm addicted to the plugins.
I've
always been mixing in the box.
I love a plugin.
If I see a cool new one, I gotta.
You know what you would love?
What do you got?
The new SSL interfaces are 32-bit.
The UAD ones, or
no, the SSL. I'm sure the new UAD ones will be too, but the SSL makes those new USB-C interfaces, but they just did a version 2.
Oh, an interface.
Yeah.
Not a plugin. I got you.
Yeah. I'm sorry. And it's 32-bit, bruh, which is completely uncompressed. And then you pair something like that with, like you're saying, those UAD plugins. We were talking about this on the last episode of this, where there's like a plugin that'll emulate like the reverb in the attic at Motown or something, and like shit like that. UAD specifically, my band No Antics that does some stuff here loves UAD stuff. We use a lot of it for.
It's kind of the go-to, man. But I mean, I use a lot of shit. I use Waves on every mix. I use a lot of Plugin Alliance stuff.
Do you use
Brainworks.
the Waves Equator thing? Mm-mm. There's a thing I've been getting an Instagram ad for, the Waves Equator, it'll listen to the EQ of the vocal with the rest of the track and like try to move the EQ out of the way so that like the vocals sit on top of the ad makes it look really cool.
But see, you just got to be careful with things like that. That's the thing.
You don't want to, especially
one button fixes all. It's never the case.
Especially if you don't know how it does it.
You have to understand what you even want to hear in the first place.
That's
or what
the
it's
whole
doing.
battle. Yeah. Because I use like Ozone for mastering a lot, and the originally I was like, well, the preset sounds good, but if I wanted more or less of anything, I don't know which thing to start with, and it takes years of figuring out
to really know what
they're even emulating.
What all these knobs do, what you.
But it's worth it.
Absolutely,
it's worth it to know. But that's also why like you'll see people that have no idea what they're doing, and they have tons of cool stuff, but they're kind of stuck because they have that problem. Because that's the thing too that gets in the way. It's like I see people on Facebook is also the worst for this. We got to get off Facebook, Sam.
Facebook sucks.
What are we going to do?
I don't know, man.
And it's our fault. It's our
shit come out when we were, this was like
I was a child. I got invited by email in 2005. And that people, where was I going with that? people are. Why did I say that though? Facebook people are on Facebook. Oh, and they're like, oh, I got a new guitar, or I got a new this, or I got a new that. But it's like, because you were sitting at work bored and sad, and Sweetwater came and said, hey, don't you want to be happy? What if this was on your porch when you got home in a couple days? And I've always tried to tell people that the real thing is actually to be in use of those things. Having all this stuff doesn't matter if you're just at work not using it, buying more of it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so can you articulate to me the joy of, like, when you're mid-track down in the stew?
Dude, it's all I ever want to do. Yeah. It's the only place I ever really want to be.
Yeah, it's like when you're in the middle of it and you know you've gotten far enough into it that it's built out enough that you can actually keep creating, but you're not like running out of stuff to do yet.
Not overdoing it, but just getting better and better. And,
oh, God.
Oh, no.
Like crack.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Or whatever the kids are into now. Are the kids still smoking crack?
We're when it was cool. When we were cool.
When we were cool, we were smoking crack.
Yeah, baby.
I worked with a guy once who was a sweet man, talented dude, and he said one summer they had found a bag of cocaine in the woods that someone had like stashed, and so they brought it back and put it in.
That's where that went.
And put it in a. This is like back in the 80s, so he didn't really know what crack was yet. But he put a big bag of cocaine in a refrigerator that was not plugged in somebody's garage that they never really went in, and him and his buddy would hang out in there and smoke cigarettes and do hood rat things. Then, after a few hot days, the crack had melted and then re-solidified kind of as a big rock. It wasn't crack yet. It was cocaine in a bag that they melted on accident, and it kind of reformed into kind of a brick, like a flaky, brittle brick. And so they would just smoke it. They just freebase these rocks.
Find out.
Because, you know what I mean? Because, they can't snort it because it got all weird.
Yeah.
But then it was like the whole summer before they realized, oh, that's crack now. We've been smoking crack all summer because we ruined some cocaine that we found in the woods. Actually, I'm realizing they shouldn't have even gone that far with it. Yeah, guys, if you find drugs in the woods, don't.
Yeah, leave it be.
Don't do the drugs in the woods.
Coming back for those.
That reminds me of... We don't have to tell that story.
You got another studio over here?
No, that's I'm trying to be sensitive about what exactly to say. I don't think it's coming through in the mics at all. But that's the fucking neighbor with his goddamn Beastie Boys tribute band. That's totally fine. And I love them. And they're my friends. God damn it.
Shout out to the neighbors.
Isn't he supposed to be making tacos right now?
No, they're closed on Mondays.
Oh, well, why am I being sheepish? It's never really a problem with these, but to us, it's always like, you would know them. They're popular. That's probably like the only band I can think of that you could do a tribute act of, and it wouldn't be like disrespectful. Like a lot of hip hop tributes would be problematic.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot you can do. They're already. They don't need it, Yeah. Like, who's gonna do a tribute album for the Wu-Tang? Wu-Tang's still they're all still killing it, man. Most of them.
Yeah, and because there's so many elements to that too. But I think because there's more pre-recorded or sampled elements too, that like doing a cover of a hip hop song makes a little bit less sense.
Yeah,
have you ever done any
like
covers?
Karaoke.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird choice.
Why would
it's
you?
Not the same thing.
Write your own rap, man.
Just write a thing. Yeah. And you know what? I had students that did this at a talent show one time. They rewrote the verses to a hip hop song they liked because they didn't have any resources in terms of a beat or collaborators, and so they just said, "Well, let me just take the song with the hooks, and I'll write my own verses." And I was like,
"That's different. Yeah, that's cool."
Especially as a kid when you're learning.
Yeah, dude.
Give yourself something to perform.
Remix.
I think that's a brilliant.
Definitely done that. I've taken industry beats and done my own little version, rewrite.
You gotta to at least try to convey like what your vision is for future stuff you want to do. That's what I've always said about covers is it should be like a mission statement.
Sure.
Unless it's like for cash specifically the way that I have to do it, or I have to set up at a fucking car show or something and play butt rock for 3 hours. Which is fine. The children need it at the car show.
The world needs it, man.
Yeah. And so, do you perform live a lot?
Not as much as I'd like. It's been a minute. Yeah, not as much as I'd like. I'd like to get something together here soon, but you know, I'm a busy guy, man. I work a lot, and
in St. Louis, it's got to be hard.
Yeah,
because if you can find a venue that'll allow you to put on a hip hop show with all the things that you would want there,
kind of looking at the attic. There were
the
Utopia Studios, the old what's that? By the Gramophone. What am I thinking of?
Ready Room was over there.
Ready
now it's
Room,
Hot Java.
Ready Room
Is
was-
that old space, and the Ready Room is now what Atomic Cowboy was.
I think where Atomic Cowboy was.
Yeah, no, that's fun. I've seen, I was supposed to see Big Boy there, but he decided day of to cancel.
The fuck, man?
What the fuck, Big Boy?
Seriously, bro.
I had tickets. It
Yeah,
was like
what's
an
up with that?
afternoon thing. It was some kind of big festival. It was like that was my drinking days. I obviously don't remember. Because that's the thing, too. If you find a spot to do one where people will come out to and you could get the whole thing going, then St. Louis will come up and act St. Louis-like, and
All
they'll shut
day.
down the function.
All day.
I mean, my St. Louis be St. Louis, and bruh, there's a girl we went to school with. I keep seeing on, I'm obviously not going to say her name, but I keep seeing her on, what's the one where you, STL Mugshots?
Oh,
That girl keeps getting popped at that Walmart. I'm like, baby, go home, mama. I think her house used to be there, and they eminent domained for the Walmart when we were kids, and I think that's why she keeps going back and getting in trouble, is because I think she's trying to go home.
yikes. Yeah, I'm gonna stay away from that one. I think I know who we're talking about, though.
STL Mugshots, not a sponsor. Go to 63122 and look for. Never mind.
Yep.
I almost, because I can't even say what I was going to say. It wasn't going to be somebody's name, but it was going to be insensitive. And you know what? I'm turning over a new leaf. I am in transition.
No more being insensitive. Now, in the guys of not being insensitive, yeah, go ahead and pass that, bro.
So my thing is that in the state of like everything we do with the internet and whatnot, is it necessary to perform live a ton?
Honestly, I think so.
You do think it is still
I think it would be
beneficial?
a lot more beneficial than not. You
Yeah.
know, it gets new people. Everybody likes
It's hard
live
to
music.
beat that. People think that, oh, there's no way people are. Anytime I get the goosebumps at a live performance, I pull Spotify up and I try to find whoever's playing, just
yeah.
so I could try to recreate that feeling later. It's not because I don't want to pay attention and stay engaged, but it's because,
I like
this is
this
a real
song. Let me-
experience.
yeah.
I want to go ahead and see if I can capture some of this for later. And that's the other thing. If you're playing live, have at least one song on the internet. I know it's hard to do. DM me if you need help getting one of your songs on the internet. I can get it done for you. But even if it's not the best song, even if it's not the best recording, people will forget you. They'll be like, I saw this great band. They had this kind of guitar, or they were singing this kind of thing, or we
couldn't
were at
find
this
their
place,
song,
but
though,
they had
so-
nowhere to find them.
Yeah.
And I've seen it the other way. I've seen people go on and get famous and have stuff the next time I saw them. But I've also seen people that I never saw again be like, man, I wish I had at least that one track in my downloads folder with all of my Johnny Wayne Free Track Fridays.
Free Track Fridays. That's throwback, man.
And so a lot of this music is available on YouTube. We mentioned Spotify, Apple Music,
Apple.
of course.
Oh yeah. Google, pretty much anywhere, man.
The growth was 2023,
I believe, yes, 2023,
and then Long Way to Go was 2022.
2022.
The stuff that we played earlier, was that 2024?
That's 2023 as well. That's from the Sicko album.
Okay.
Yeah. So I cut.
Is there a physical copy of Sicko?
Not yet.
Okay,
There will
but
be. There will be.
But that's not the follow-up to that.
That is not the follow-up to these. No,
See,
not
this
at
is
all.
what I'm talking about. This is a prolific, independent St. Louis rapper right here, gentlemen. That I say gentlemen because I think we're scaring the hose at this point. But
Don't be scared,
with my
hoes.
industry talk. But the so you have a couple of projects in the works. Physical release is still forthcoming. In follow-up to these two other things, is there a platform you prefer people to check you out on?
Whatever you prefer. Honestly, it's whatever you got. I don't have an iPhone. I'm a fucking Android guy. So
They'll forgive you.
I hope.
I would quit bringing it up, but they will forgive you.
You're right. I've said too much.
And Sam Dope on all platforms. If I could just get your take on some of the broader, spectrum here. What's something that you really want to do that you haven't gotten to do yet?
I don't know. Travel and tour. I've never toured, and I don't perform live enough, so I think a tour would be really cool.
That's brilliant.
Even if it's just throughout the state.
Do you have peers that you know that have some of that experience? They've traveled, maybe not luxuriously, but to perform?
Yeah, I mean, Johnny Wayne is
that's
my
a great
main
point.
guy.
Yeah. You guys are close.
I've known
realize.
Johnny for some years now, about 10 years or so, and he's helped me a lot during my journey. He's got me on some stages where otherwise I would never have been on. You know, we did a show with Murphy Lee together. It was really fucking cool. Keep it all in St. Louis. He's a good guy, and he likes to help his friends and everybody just get to the next level.
Yeah.
As far as we can all go.
Yeah, definitely shout out to... Where was that at, Murphy?
What was that at? It was out in, I think it was Misty Nights out in St. Peter's. St. Charles.
Is that a place?
Yeah, in St. Peter's.
I ain't never been there.
Yeah.
Murphy Lee played there. He probably lives out there. Don't they all live in O'Fallon?
He might, yeah. I think they...
Nellie's mom lives in Lake St. Louis.
Lake St. Louis, yeah.
On-
So they're, we do a lot of things
Highway
out that way.
between K and N somewhere is where you're going to find Murphy Lee. If you're traveling out 64, you're looking for Mr. Murphy Lee. You'll start with K, and if he's not on K, keep going. If you get to N, though, I don't think he's past N very far.
Yeah, and you're going to find Misty Nights in between Central School Road and Jungerman.
Oh, Jungerman.
Next down the line from Pizza Row. And you only know what Pizza Row is if you've been to St. Charles or you're from St. Charles.
Lucius is our Cave Springs correspondent.
That's right.
And my favorite thing is I think the best avenue for traveling is to try to get on, even if they're smaller, but festivals of all kinds.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times people plop music down on top of a festival that exists anyway. And so that unsolicited reaction is sort of what we were talking about, where you can catch people by surprise, especially children. Like, imagine if we were at like the Green Tree Festival as children, and then there was a rapper there finally. Whoa, that would have been just a nice hit of adrenaline for us.
What's that?
You know what I mean?
Exactly. It attracts new people that might just be walking down the street, not planning on going to a show that day. And
I think it'd be hard to get that audience on board initially, but if you were really about some shit, you really were confident and really giving it to them, Johnny Wayne could win over the Green Tree Festival.
Oh, absolutely.
The
moms and dads,
that place
and
would
the
be
whole
sloppy
family.
in a minute. That would be crazy. There'd be like old people pouring champagne on children.
Oh, man.
And because that's just the vibe he brings to the room. But I'm noticing that, I think there's obviously a stigma, right, with communities and the police and hip hop events in general. That do you know Tyler Widman?
Maybe. I don't know.
I'm gonna have to bleep all these last names out. He's because I had this frustration with him. He was in a rap group, and they were like from like Arnold or something. So I don't even know and he's older than us.
What did he go by?
He was in a group. I don't remember the group's name, but I remember trying to book a show with them one time, and then the venue said no, which I have never experienced.
Oh shit! Where at?
Where it was at the time, I think that was maybe the Firebird, which I could say because it's closed now. But that it was a promoter. It wasn't just me booking it with the venue, and he said, "You have another band that wants to play with you." And I said, "I really have these friends I've been trying to get a show with." And they were really hoping to jump on or whatever, and they had a totally decent web presence and everything. We were like, yeah, I'm not really feeling a rap group for this. I'm like, okay,
all right.
how about just 5 more white dudes with guitars then, buddy? I mean, it's so hard because I really get some experiences to witness a diversity of types of music, even if some of it sucks. I like that it's different. Right. That when there's magazines I've worked with and stuff that I'll go check up on the publication, and it's all bands of 5 more white dudes, very little of any other types of things. And so even not making it about race, even just making it about genre, it's it's just sort of like how a lot of podcasting has gotten to, and I hate to say, it's a lot of self-serving. It's a lot of, they're doing this for them.
Yeah, man, that's what St. Louis as a whole needs to kind of get away from and just help each other more than you know, like, again, thanks for having me on your podcast, bro.
Oh,
this
of
is
course.
like something this is my first time doing this, and it's fucking cool.
Yeah, I try to make it as welcoming as possible, and I so appreciate you being so generous with your time and opinions because, again, you know, it's fun to just like sit here with my brother and just really not talk about anything for 45 minutes, like a lot of our episodes end up being, as fun as those are. But you know, a big part of the thing is, even like the other bands and other musical artists I've had on here, they don't even necessarily all know about each other. You know what I mean?
Right,
Much
right.
less, you know, if we could get a couple of dozen additional eyeballs on something, it's always so helpful. But it's also like there's like a couple of podcasts in town that interview local artists and stuff, and then, you know, some of them don't post very often and things like that. And whereas like I'm doing this show every week anyway, and so if I have a curiosity about something, I kind of try to
Get to the bottom of it.
yeah, pursue it a little bit. And so did you ever explore Nelly's abandoned mansion out there?
I've seen photos.
I've only seen
I've only
photos,
seen
too.
the photos, man.
Let's
It
go
looks-
out there.
Let's do it.
That's where we'll do a Patreon episode from Nelly's abandoned mansion.
We can do a tribute to Country Grammar and film all the videos
That would be
there.
fun.
If we were going to do a tribute
if we
to
did
a
a
rapper.
live tribute to Country Grammar in Nelly's abandoned mansion,
I think that'd be pretty
We'll have to get a
fucking sick.
generator, but I do know a guy that I think lucked into one. And so who are some other local artists that you would want my audience to also check out, assuming that they give you a listen and they realize, oh, this is like a vibrant community happening here that I didn't even know about. Who else is around right now?
Locally, I don't really work with anybody local. I mean, for the most part, I'm working with a guy in Massachusetts right now. My team is in Texas, pretty much, as where my producer and engineer are all at. Locally, though, I will say A Game is doing big things. Anthony, I ain't gonna say his name, but shout out to A Game. He's, you know, we went to middle school together, and he's doing huge things now, especially for the St. Louis hip hop community. It's really fucking cool to see that. So,
and
probably St. Louis probably already knows about it. Most of them. I don't know. Look up A Game because
no, see, I don't know A Game, and so that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, man.
That's the tip I needed.
that is St. Louis hip hop right now.
Really?
I want to say, yeah.
And what about what? I'm trying to think about.
Hold on. I'm tripping. I got another one. Hazy P. I got.
Oh, Haze. That's why I felt a spirit in the room saying, "What about me?"
Like,
and it's
wait a
Hazy
minute.
P.
No, fuck. Me and Hazy just dropped one of the hardest songs. Just dropped about a week ago. Check it out. It's called Straight Spittin'.
We'll end the episode with that one when we get
that
there.
one's. Yeah.
I'm not
Shout out
letting you
Hazy
go
P.
just yet,
I
but
can't forget about my boy.
that's the tip I need. I'll pull that up. That whole thing. And so, you know, like when people text you a video of themselves talking. You're not married.
I'm not married. I'm engaged.
You are engaged.
I'm engaged.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks,
my brother
thanks.
just got married over the weekend, and that's
sweet.
why that's on my mind. Did you spend a lot of time in the dating game before?
A lot of time. Oh,
And-
yeah.
This is just something that is a theme of the show lately, that some people need a little bit of tips on things not to do, maybe in that market. And now that you're safely out of the market, I think we can safely elaborate that. Like, so would you lead with that you were a rapper when you're meeting somebody new?
No.
You'd let that come up organically.
Yeah. I'm like, hey, guys, what's up? I'm Sam Dope, the rapper, baby.
You don't have to start with that. If she doesn't know that you're Sam Dope the rapper, you don't have to start with that.
She'll
kids.
find out eventually.
She'll find out if she's the one. She'll find
find
out. That's brilliant. I love that. And it's so. Is it isolating artistically in a way? Like you have to find out. You have to find ways to really get your motivation going around what you're doing, kind of on your own, before it involves other people.
Oh, yeah. It's me versus the world, pretty much, you know. It can feel very isolating.
Yeah. in it, like, because even if I'm just, doing what our neighbors are doing and just playing other people's songs for fun or for money or for a combination, like, I can kind of physically get through that in a way that's beneficial. But that's not really something you have access to. Like, you don't have a way to just phone it in and just get the adrenaline without some of that hard work.
Right. Well, that's where the adrenaline comes from too.
It makes it better, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Because when you finally,
it's no fun if you don't have to work for it.
Yeah. So. But you have to dig yourself out of a hole creatively anytime you want to do something new. And that's kind of the part of the challenge that's probably the most rewarding, is to kind of watch it happen in front of you.
Just watch it all come to life, man.
Yeah.
It's really cool to have just an idea, and then all of a sudden, like, whoa, this sounds even better than I ever thought possible.
Does that come and go?
It's usually it's pretty much every song, man. I'm not going to release a song if I don't feel that way about it.
No, but do you feel like you have a rhythm and that you could crank out a certain number of songs in a year, or do you feel like some years you're more prolific than others?
No, yeah, absolutely. It comes and goes. I have to feel it. So you're right. I can have a couple weeks go by where I don't even want to step foot in the studio, and it's in my house. You know what I mean? So it's hard not to. Other days, like today, I spent my whole day up there recording and fucking around, mixing tracks, and was running a little bit late. Like, oh shit, didn't realize how.
No, that's good. That's also why I didn't rush you, because I'm like, well, if he's working on something, let the magic happen.
Yeah, man, magic was getting cooked up.
And then, so I had a follow up to that. That was, what makes it get going again when it hasn't been going? Is it because here's what I'm thinking. For me, when I'm really frustrated and unhappy in my life, the songs are better, and the songs come together quicker.
The best ones for sure. If you're having a fucking shitty day,
or a shitty month,
or a great day, but pretty much, shitty, going through a shitty time. That's pretty much what. I don't know, say a shitty time, but it's been a process.
But it's also, that's an important process of putting any of those negative experiences behind you, is figuring out a way to reflect on them in a meaningful way. And,
absolutely, and sometimes it's just
you can take that emotion that you put into the track and get it out of your spirit.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to step away from it for a second and come back to it, and you know what? Now I'm thinking. Now I'm knowing I can. What I didn't know what I knew to say on the speed earlier.
Is there a song that you have released that comes to mind? Doesn't have to be the most of anything, but that kind of came all the way out kind of all at once?
Oh, man, pretty much this whole Growth album was pretty much just but the final track, the title track.
By Sam Dope.
Growth.
The final track on this is called Don't Tell Me, I got it right here. Growth. Title track.
So I probably could have guessed that. Sums it all up.
That's
right
brilliant.
There. And I remember when Almari sent me that beat, and I heard the little vocal sample in it, and it all just kind of came to me that day. Laid it down, sent it off.
You had plenty built up that once you had that little spark, you were just ready to just go.
That's all it took. Yeah. Just hit and play.
And how long is that song? Do you ever find that the songs end up being too long? Do you cut a lot?
I try not to let them go too long. Everything's tops 3 minutes.
Okay.
A little bit of change.
Because some people get into
especially with the hip hop now. Nobody's got the fucking attention span for this shit.
Well, that's the thing. You know who one of my favorite St. Louis rappers is? His name is Mo P.
Mo P. What's up, Mo P?
He's like a drill guy. He's younger than us.
Okay.
His songs are like 220, you know what I mean? Like, if that, and the videos are
that's pretty much standard now these days, man.
And the videos are shot like in really high frames per second, like almost like a GoPro or something. And so it's just got this whole aesthetic it builds around it, with the songs being so short like that. It's like pure adrenaline for 2 minutes, and then it's like, what am I? Especially somebody like me, like I'm like, what do I do with that information? So we always do an hour typically, but I did mention that we were going to talk about some of the releases that are coming up. Do we have dates on any of those? We're talking November for the physical release of the one. Anything hard set in stone?
I'm hoping, but nothing's hard set in stone. So, well, I'm going to have something dropping 420. That's set in stone for sure.
Yeah. Is that a routine for you? Or is
that's something I wanted to do last year, and I missed out.
We'll catch the next one. The next one will be
it'll be out 420.
And
it's
that's a full-length LP of 420
full-length
stuff?
LP, yeah. I was 11, 12 songs on that one. Yeah, about 420, baby.
Now, is that with the same team mostly, or any extra collaborators, any features to mention? Too soon?
Too soon.
Too soon. We'll let you know who's on it.
Yeah.
I'll let you know who's on it. Okay? Don't ask me. I'm looking at the camera.
420, baby.
That is a holiday around here, and what day of the week is that this time?
Shit, man.
You don't know that off the top of your head, Sam Dope?
Tuesday or Sunday? My two guesses.
It's a Sunday. You were right.
Sunday. Okay, cool.
Okay, good. Sunday. That's going to be a busy day. I'm calling out of church that morning. I'm going to do mass at 5 a.m. in Latin so that I can get out there and start my holiday.
Baby. That's right.
The parks are going to be fucking crazy that day.
Yeah, prepare
Damn
for
it.
clouds, man.
That would be a funny, man, there's so many, when you're really trying to be gracious to a guest and not suck them into the offensive bits you typically do, you know what I mean? It's crazy how often it comes up. There's like 3 things today that I really hard stopped and said, I'm just not even going to say that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's crazy. That's how much I love you, Sam.
Oh, yeah, bro.
Sam Dope on all platforms.
Yes,
and we're going to leave with the one that we just talked about, which is called
Straight Spin, Sam Dope and Hazy P.
I love that. Jacob V Weekly on all platforms, jacobv.com, jacobv.com/Patreon, caddyshackil.org, Save a Life for 9. You were saying another thing.
Fucking. Was that? I don't know.
I don't know. I just didn't want to cut you off.
No.
Because I get so excited
good,
with the plugs. And there's rolling credits now, so it's not as big of a deal as it used to be. Maybe when you have something dropping, let me know, because we're going to start separately recording musical segments in here for the show. So like somebody who's not the interview guest that day would have a full in-studio performance at the top of the thing. And so hip-hop would be a great way to start that from a production standpoint, for the sake of not having to mix so many different things all at once. So you guys are going to hear more from Sam Dope. I'm going to let everybody know when that stuff is coming out, and keep up with us. This will be out this week on Patreon, and then everyone else will get this next Friday. So anything that comes out between now and then, if you have a manic episode, you crank something out. So like, listen, we're doing a free track Friday, but I haven't written it yet. You know what I mean? Type of thing. Right. You're going to hear that here first.
Hell yeah. And shout out to Doorstop Studios. This place is fucking cool.
This is great. People don't know about it a lot.
Yeah, I'm impressed.
Yeah, it's Lucius, of course. If you want to do anything in this space, we got doorstop-studio.square.site. You could book your appointment in there without having to call anybody, which I love.
Oh, yeah.
Because if I have to call the phone...
I don't want to fucking talk to anybody
Oh, my God. Half the time, I'm praying for a menu. I would rather it say...
do not answer.
Press 2 for Espanol. You know what I mean? Because if somebody picks up and says, this is Tiffany, I'm like, oh, no! When I meant operator, I meant, isn't AI supposed to be taking all these jobs? I don't want a breathing human on my line. Woo! R.I.P. All right. Thank you. We'll be back.
Nothing ever be the same, though. It's all up from her. Hey, face the bastard, this is lyrical rapture. Came to snap your body fracture. There will be none after, cause a disaster. It's a fiasco, somebody call Lupe. Welcome tomorrow, it's a new day. Sweet brother Noomsay. In my own lane, I will never do what you say. Bump and juice say. Trying to get it big and Papa. Now who shot ya? He's a shotter, my family's mobsters. Then your face is some pasta. The time he knock ya. Please don't bother, I meditate. Why they steady hate? I'ma show you some real dedication. They they cheddar faking. Talking about a bag, talking about some ass. These cats is facts while I'm straight laced. Never reel me in, I don't bait chase. This is big fish, well shit. Wipe that look off your face. He's going crazy. Mayday, mayday, style in his heyday. You spit too regular, I'm rough around the edges, no pedicure. Get scientific, break down molecular. Sipping on the secular, hunt 'em like the predator. Please stop stepping, sir. You ain't worthy, nothing like James. Your bluff is to blame. Insane, been about my mind. Zombie-fied, looking for brains. The top to
Tripping some acid while I'm kicking some ass and taking some names. You think it's a game? Well, really, we isn't the same. I'm trying to whip in the range and live in the mansion. So give me a minute, I'm finna get rid of these rappers. Once and for all, they call me the runaway train. I literally get on the track and then rip it in half. My mic's a chainsaw, swinging right for your veins, dog. So believe the hype just to see the light. This Jesus Christ, I'm a brain dog. Fuck that, I'm spitting these flames on. Like hell, I'm a devil in plain clothes. You can never get on my level. So level you can't go. I'ma take off and I'ma take over. You know the name Hope stamped off, but I'ma make sure that you ain't gonna forget by the time this thing's over. I'm the way, I'm high as hell, going 95 and I ain't sober. Police behind me, they pull that thing over, but I ain't gone. I'ma keep going and I ain't gon' stop. Why not? Cause it ain't no option. Blood red is what I paint your block. If you think don't, let the things go pop. I'm just playing, I'm saying I don't play around. Just chill like a Thanksgiving turkey, when I break you down. If you really wanna take it down, I even keep my hands behind my back so we can make it fair. And you still wouldn't stand a chance. Call the ambulance, where's the nearest hospital? Take him there. I don't think he gon' make it. Not the way he was shivering and shaking on the pavement. I crush your bones, I ain't never scared. You better beware with the redhead brother of Satan.